Have you ever noticed how your priorities start to shift as you get older? The things that once seemed essential, like maintaining a large circle of friends, don't hold the same weight anymore. You start realizing that you don't really need friends after 70. I know that might sound surprising, but bear with me for a moment. When you take a closer look at it, you'll see why embracing independence and focusing on your own well-being can be one of the best decisions you'll ever make. In this video, we're going to dive into 6 reasons why friendships aren't as necessary in your later years as they once were. We'll explore how your mindset, personal freedom, and even your health can improve when you stop worrying about friendships that no longer serve you. This isn't about loneliness. It's about living life on your own terms, free from the unnecessary pressure and obligations that often come with social ties. Stick around until the end. You might just discover how letting go of these pressures can transform how you view your later years, and maybe even yourself. But before we jump in, if you're enjoying this topic, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you won't miss any future videos. Now let's dive in. 1. You don't need to prove yourself to anyone anymore. One of the biggest reasons you don't need friends after 70 is that you've already outgrown the phase of life where social validation mattered. Remember your younger years? How often did friendships revolve around fitting in, impressing others, or keeping up appearances? Whether it was trying to impress colleagues, maintaining a social standing, or just making sure you were always included in gatherings, there was always a certain pressure to be seen and accepted. But now, that pressure is gone. By the time you reach your later years, you've lived through enough to realize that true fulfillment doesn't come from external approval. It comes from within. No more chasing friendships for status or reputation. At this stage in life, you define your worth. You don't need others' validation to confirm who you are. Take someone like Harold, who's 73. He spent most of his life climbing the corporate ladder, always surrounded by colleagues and acquaintances, relationships that were more about convenience than true connection. But after he retired, those friendships started to fade. Why bother holding on to relationships that only existed because of work? So, Harold stopped chasing those ties and started spending more time on hobbies he loved. For the first time in a long time, he felt free. No more social obligations. No more worrying about whether people liked him. He was simply living for himself, and it felt good. When you stop seeking validation, you realize how much energy you've wasted on friendships that didn't really add value to your life. You don't need to prove yourself to anyone anymore, just to yourself. 2. Peace becomes more valuable than socializing. As we age, something shifts. Peace starts to feel far more valuable than socializing. When you're younger, being around people may have felt like a necessity. The noise, the gatherings, the conversations, it all felt like part of a life well lived. But as time passes, you begin to appreciate something much more. Quiet, and not just any quiet, but the kind that allows you to truly be at ease. Many friendships come with responsibilities, calls to return, invitations to accept, and unspoken expectations to stay connected. It's not that friendships are bad, but after a certain age, they can start to feel like more work than they're worth. Take Margaret, who's 74. She used to have a wide social circle, lunches, calls, holiday gatherings. Her calendar was always full. But as the years went by, those interactions started feeling draining instead of fulfilling. Conversations felt repetitive, with the same stories told over and over. Some friends only called to complain, others to gossip. She realized this wasn't the joy of companionship anymore. One day, Margaret decided to step back. She stopped feeling guilty about saying no to invitations. She started embracing the quiet, and with it came a sense of peace. Now, instead of trying to meet others' expectations, she spent time doing what she loved. Long walks, reading, enjoying her own company. You don't need to keep up with everyone's social obligations. Instead, focus on peace. It's a kind of fulfillment that only gets better with age. If you're resonating with this so far, let me know by commenting number 2 below, and don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications to get more videos like this. 3. Fewer friendships mean fewer disappointments. One of life's hardest lessons is realizing that not everyone you call a friend is truly there for you. Over the years, you've likely experienced it. People drifting away, friends becoming distant when you needed them most, and one-sided relationships. By the time you reach your late 70s, you begin to understand that fewer friendships don't just mean fewer obligations, they mean fewer disappointments. Think about William, who's 78. Over the years, he saw friendships come and go. Some ended naturally, but others faded when he realized he was always the one putting in the effort. At this stage of life, you start to let go of friendships that aren't mutual. Instead of feeling frustrated by unmet expectations, you focus on the relationships that truly matter, the ones that bring you joy and require no effort to maintain. Quality over quantity. And if you're feeling a bit stressed about letting go of some friendships, remember this. It's okay. You don't need a huge circle to feel fulfilled. Let me know in the comments if you've had similar experiences and how you're focusing more on meaningful relationships in your life. 4. Your time becomes more precious. As you age, you start to realize that time is your most valuable resource. When you're younger, you think there's always more of it, more time to spend with friends, more time for socializing. But by the time you reach your 70s, you realize just how precious each moment really is. Take Richard in his early 80s. He used to have a vibrant social life, filled with dinner parties and regular calls, but over time, he started to feel differently. Social gatherings that once seemed fun now felt like obligations. One day, while at yet another gathering, he realized this wasn't how he wanted to spend his time. So, he made a change. No more saying yes out of habit. Instead, he started saying no when he didn't feel like going out. He spent his time doing things that brought him joy, reading, walking, and enjoying his own peace. You don't owe anyone your time. You've earned the right to spend it however you choose. If you found this video helpful so far, please comment number 4 and consider subscribing for more insights.